Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Kazual Konvos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Kazual Konvos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every age. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Kazual Konvo show with me, Coco, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. Tajah, let's get to it. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about accountability. First, how was your day? Long. Dry. Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about accountability. Would you like to start? That's what it's gonna be.
But I've been dealing with too much accountability.
What you mean?
Because you wanna know what I don't understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me tell you what I don't understand.
I'm listening.
What I don't understand is, all right, so people want you to take accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you take accountability. But once you take accountability, they still drag it on. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Give me a generic example.
All right. So say you did something right.
Well, I said generic. I wasn't supposed to be included.
Nah, we're gonna see you as an example. Gotta
Right.
put you in the shoes for real. All right. So say you do something,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that person, they come to you and they like, you know, you did this and it like really hurt me for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, you know, they telling you like how it hurt them and like what steps and everything. Like they really explaining it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and you're like, you know what? I really apologize. Like I shouldn't have done that. Like how we gonna move forward from here? Like how can we, you know, move on from this? Like how can we build from this?
Mm-hmm.
But they still steady telling you what you did wrong.
So that's placing blame, not being accountable.
Like, but they still like, see, I was real hurt when you did that one thing.
Right?
And you're just like, you know, like, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I see. But how are we going to get past it? It's the past it part. That's what I don't understand.
What? How can people use blame as accountability?
Yeah. That's a good way to put that. I ain't think about it like that, but that's a good way to put it.
I think some people just don't. Some people really don't think that they're wrong, and that's the sad part.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're not ever, because responsibility and accountability is similar but different.
Yeah.
But if no one has ever, as what you say, your upbringing, a lot of times when you haven't been put in situations where you had to take ownership of fault,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to, because everybody just gave you the pass with blaming other people and accepting it. You get what I mean? And
Right.
instead of saying no, you're wrong. And I think that's why some people be like, you ever see that thing where people be like, I'm not that friend that's just going to be like, okay, and agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like.
I blame the parents.
Explain.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know if I like where this is going, but okay.
No, you said it's the upbringing, so I said I blame the parents.
That's everybody. Truthfully, whoever is involved, I think it's everybody.
See, but okay, so when it comes down to accountability, that's how I feel. Like when there's like things that happen, it takes like, I don't feel like accountability should just be all one-sided. I feel like if
First, what is accountability?
oh Jesus,
Because you're going right into
right.
it.
Because I'm going right into it. They don't know what accountability is. So you want like what accountability is to me, or you got the definition?
What you thinking, man?
Taking accountability. Can I use that whole thing?
The whole thing.
Taking accountability. Because I can't even say accountability. Taking accountability. I didn't think about that part. I just thought about like, situations. I didn't think about the definition.
Before I read the definition, for me, I think it's more so accepting.
I think
it's not even your fault, not even your flaws. It's accepting when we. That's okay.
For me, I would say is understanding where you went wrong in a situation. Not where like you went wrong, but like where you probably fell short.
I agree, and I slightly disagree. Only because with accountability, it can be good or bad.
Right.
You get what I mean? So yes, I believe that you should be able to accept when you're wrong and when you're right. Mm-hmm. It's no different way. You have some people who don't like to accept being wrong.
That's true.
And that's the first thing. When you think you're always right, I be wrong a lot. I mean, I might not always admit it.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
But I did. But pretty much it's like the acceptance of responsibility for honest and ethical conduct towards others. Like the willingness to be judged by your performance. So pretty much like your behaviors and all of those things that come into play. So like, do you hold people accountable, like your friends and people? How?
Well, like in any given situation, like good or bad?
Give me one with friends, one with family, and one with yourself.
I feel like I do it more with myself than I do with my friends and family. Like I'm just getting to this point where I'm telling people about themselves.
Okay, let's clear one thing up before you finish. I want people to stop saying, oh, I'm holding this person accountable and using that as a pathway to be passive aggressive or ignorant. Yes. That's the part that bothers me. But people are like, no, I'm just holding you accountable. No, you're trying to be rude and hurtful. You don't have to be hurtful to hold someone accountable. Exactly. You can be honest, but be real. Everybody can't accept the truth.
That part.
Give me an example.
Can I accept the truth? I feel like I do that every day of the week. Jesus. Like it may hurt at first, but I'm gonna get over it. My skin is tough.
Okay, I'm waiting for your examples. So give me one with when you had to hold a friend accountable. It don't necessarily have to be something like, just
but
like
it can be something good as well. Yeah. Like based on performance.
I mean, it could be a behavior, it could be a decision, it could be anything.
I don't care. I'm gonna use her name. So I feel like when it comes so far as friendships, right? Because I would say probably my realest friendship is with Shia. Me and her, we definitely hold each other accountable on a lot of situations. Like just like I would say, like just recently, far as because right now she like kind of takes care of like her sister. Mm-hmm. So the one thing like she does is like because her little sister be off the hook sometimes, but what she does is like she remains calm. She talks to her like she tries to like rush with her a little bit. Like she takes the necessary steps without using like violence, without using the other ways. Like she tries every other way first. Like she tries other ways to like accommodate her and tries to make sure that she's good and like she's understanding like certain lessons. So I tell her all the time I tell her like you're doing a good job with her. Like even though like it may seem like it's hard, like you're actually doing a fairly good job. And then she holds me accountable all the time. Like all the time. Like for good and bad. Like just recently, like we were just talking about a situation and she felt like I stood up for myself very well. And she told me that. And then there was a time where she felt some type of way because I ain't answering her phone call. So she was like, that's not fair. I felt some type of way because you ain't answered me, but I always answer you. And I'm just like, all right now. All right. I'm gonna answer. I was like, my bad, I should have texted you or something. But yeah, that's for friends. That's usually how we are.
I think it is more like an expectation.
No, I answered for a few days.
I get it. I mean, but also I think sometimes some people forget that everybody don't handle the situations the same or react in situations or what they go through the same way as they may. So I think sometimes in that aspect, when it comes to that, that's like an expectation of your friends. I went through that similar situations. For instance, like if I do something, like for instance, when Jay, he gonna cuss me out. I keep using it. Jay, you know, incident when I had to, you know, I went off. Let's just say that. Now, because of where I came, how far I came in my life or whatever, his thing was don't ever allow somebody to take you out of that spot. And a lot of times my anger can get the best of me. But at the same time, it's like you gotta check yourself. Because that's not where it's at. You pass that, you better than that. You got more to lose than that. And you don't give people that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like they held me accountable for my actions as far as controlling and having self-control. And I feel like that's a good thing to have friends and people who support you to be like that. Mm-hmm. Because other than that, because you have people who act out all the time and cuss people out and do this and do that, but they be around people with similar ways. That's like, you did that, you this is that and the third. And the whole time it's like, no, that's not it. But unless you have somebody that's going to say, that's not it, that's not T, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. You're never going to be held accountable for your actions and how you make yourself look. So that's the whole thing. Like those are the conversations that like he'll have. And it's been situations where I have to hold my friends accountable for certain things that or decisions that they may make. Like if you keep making the same decisions with certain stuff, you're gonna have certain things continue to happen. Mm-hmm. So those be the conversations. And then sometimes you gotta be like, well, I don't want to hear it no more. You're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Okay. And that's me holding them accountable and vice versa. Right. So I think it's kind of like right or wrong on different, a person that you care about, their well-being, you should be able to say, hey, this is not it. Right. Or you wrong. Mm-hmm. And this is why you're wrong. I don't have to bash you to say that you're wrong. It can take a conversation. Whether you like it or not, we're not going to always like being held accountable. Because sometimes I don't be wanting to hear it because I be in my feelings or I be in my emotional state. Right. But I hear it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, sometimes it just don't come when you want it or how you want it, but it's needed for growth. Right. And I think without accountability, you can't be better. That's true. And then you got some people who pacify people. Explain. So, let me think of a good way to explain this. So, say for instance,
it's like how you were just saying, as far as when people just be like, yeah, you did that, like even though it wasn't like really that.
Yeah, and sometimes it could be really that, but how you carry yourself could be a certain way. So say for instance,
huge on how you carry yourself.
Well, me, I'm gonna be me, good, bad, indifferent. But that's the thing. See, you can't be what other people want you to be. You can only be yourself. But you can hold a person accountable for their actions, but that don't mean that person got to be like you. So that's just like when we raise kids. Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, like far as a lot of people don't hold their children accountable for their actions.
These kids nowadays, they need to.
you got kids and grown-ups who, who don't be held accountable. But then when certain things occur and happen, you make excuses instead of it being some type of reprimand, some type of consequence, something. When you hold people accountable, it could be either, like I said, it doesn't have to be, let me just tag you down and let me just do this to you. Mm-hmm. No, it's more so like, and then you can give some ways, those resources on how to make it better. But you don't gotta just sit there and just tear somebody down and be right.
Like if you're gonna I feel like if you're gonna tell somebody like you want them to take accountability for something, especially like if it's like in a bad way, like at least tell them like how they can fix it. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a sense.
Some people just know better, they just choose not to do better.
Of course.
And then again, you have those people who may have been pacified or or babyfied. They don't know how to take accountability for anything because it's never been expected. So now you got grown-ups. What?
I'm listening.
Who not held accountable for nothing. Mm-hmm. And they expect for everything that they do to just be okay and accepted when everybody is not going to accept your stuff. So when you come across the person that's going to hold you accountable, like, no, that's not what's up. And I'm not doing that. Right. This is X, Y, and Z. They looking at you like something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. But this should have been done eons ago.
Right. I'm listening.
I'm just saying. When was the time you held yourself accountable?
All the time.
When? Scenarios
every day of the week. Even when it comes down to my month, like all the way down to my parenting. Like, because I do, like, I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of days where I like reflect on how the day went with my daughter. And I'd be like, wow. Like, cause she, she'll tell me, like, mommy, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I don't like when you do that. Mm-hmm. Like, don't do that, mommy. Right. And I'd be like, dang, like, what I do wrong here? Then I really had to like sit there and think about it. And like, I do have my moments where I apologize to my daughter. And like we'll talk things through, that's what we do here.
I don't want to touch that one. No, because I do think it's a difference in everybody doesn't parent the same.
No, everybody does not.
Not only that, old school parenting, new age parenting is a lot different because I think now kids have more choices.
Definitely.
Whereas though it's okay to be free spirited, to think for yourself and understand what you want. Mm-hmm. But it's sometimes when it comes to children, they don't always have the best. Even though, okay, I want this. That may not be what's best for them. And I think sometimes some, not all, newer parents will be like, oh, but that's what they want. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it's like,
I feel like when they do stuff like that, then they're doing what they call, I'm giving my child what I didn't have. I feel like that's what a lot of parents say it is now.
Okay, then when they grow up, they expect the same thing. See, that's the thing. You got to correct. I look at it like this. When you correct it young, mm-hmm. you're pretty much teaching. And when they say, okay, you got a consequence, accountability, that's consequences, repercussions for everything.
Right.
Okay, this is it. But if I don't hold you accountable for bad behavior, not getting what you want, falling out, doing whatever, mm-hmm. and keep giving it to you, you just got a big kid or a young adult, mm-hmm. that's throwing temper tantrums because they can't get what they want. Right. Because they were never told no. They were never told you don't act like this, you don't do that, or no, you can't have that, or this is not how you do that.
Right.
And then it's like some people be very judgmental.
I mean, I can't speak for all parents. I can only speak for myself as a parent. But like, I know as far as with a lot of other parents, their main thing that they say is like, I'm just giving my child the things that I didn't have. And that's what they solely blame. Like, that's what they'll solely say that it is. Mm-hmm. Instead of, just saying like, I'm just not disciplined. or they're saying like I'm trying a different way of disciplining, because you know there's this new way of disciplining that's not the way that y'all used to discipline. They talk things out. They talk to them. They don't put their hands on them or nothing like that. It's not really too much of a no. Like if they say no, it's like, oh, go in timeout. And then if the child say no, at some point the parent just gonna give up.
Okay, and the first thing people say when you watch the news and you see children attacking people, doing stupid stuff, tossing stuff, being disrespectful, and all of these things, the first thing people say is they need to ask what, right? Hold on. No. Hold on. So my thing is there's a difference in discipline and abuse.
Definitely.
And of course, my thing is when other people started to come in and say, this is how you raise your children, this is how, a lot of stuff changed. A lot of stuff changed. I'm not saying beat the mess out your kid. No, I'm not. But I'd be damned if I'm gonna sit out here and have a disrespectful kid disrespect me and out in public and in my home. That's not gonna happen. And you have some kids, come on, Timmy, sit down now. Then Timmy get the rolling around on the floor. Timmy get the doing.
You have some parents that know how to do both though. But that understand like how to discipline.
No, I get that. That's not who I'm talking about.
I know like who you're talking about. Right. I'm just saying like far as because like you said like there's a difference between like how like old parenting and then like the new age parenting.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have a topic about that one day.
So we already did. So do you think that's always the best choice? Because I think every parent wants to do better.
Every parent has a different way of doing things. So for me personally, as far as when it comes to discipline,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, far as me personally, that's why I say I can't really speak for other parents because they're gonna do what they want as parents. I can't tell them what to do. But as far as me being a parent, I don't have to put my hands on my child to discipline my child. And my child understands that. Mm-hmm. I can give my child a look or talk to her a certain way, and she's just like, "I'm sorry," or she's just like, "Okay."
But you have accountability for actions,
right?
I'm not talking about that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to my child, when she does certain things, I make sure she understands like there are consequences to your actions at the end of the day. Like you can't do this because then this will happen. Or if you do stuff like this might be the outcome. Like you got to be willing to understand like this is what's going to happen.
I don't like the giving in.
What you mean? Giving in?
If you're going to hold somebody accountable, especially a child, right? Mm-hmm. And then as soon as the kid get to crying and getting a sad face, I'm not saying you. It'll be, it's okay. Just come on and just, okay, we're going to go get ice cream. We're going to go do this, and the third.
Yeah.
So now the kid just manipulated the mess out of you. So all you got to do is just do this. And I think that's the fine line of, I've had this conversation with an associate, I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. Same thing. And they're like, I don't see how you do it because you don't have a form of discipline. Right. It's just more so I'm a yell and da. Once your kid get used to that, they don't have to listen because it's no accountability. It's nothing else.
Repercussions.
And then you're going to still give them what they want. Me personally, no, it's nothing. Right. Period. And I get you want to give your kids whatever you didn't have. I ain't gonna say because you have some messed up parents out here, but the average parent wants the same thing or attempts to do the same thing. But again, things don't always pave out the way that you do. So, like I say, you have some where you see them in there and like little Timmy will be rolling around on the floor. Mom, you da.
Okay.
And you like, oh, okay. And then they're like, no. Yoke them up or something.
That's what I said. But honestly, once it gets to that point, you can no longer just use a voice or a face. You gotta snatch them up. You gotta inflict fear.
But then you have those other people. You don't have to hit them. You don't have to grab them like that.
I feel
And
like
those
people
are the
need to
ones
mind their
getting
business.
beat up by their kids.
I feel like people need to mind their business because people will just be trying to tell people how to do things. And it's like some things don't work for everybody, and every child is not the same at the end of the day. It's like every child learns things differently, every child understands things differently. So it's like if you really want to discipline your child, you gotta learn how to discipline your child. Not everybody else's child, your child. You can't discipline mine.
So how do you hold people accountable?
You just by telling them. How do you hold people accountable?
Huh? I'm just honest. I'm not mean. See, my thing, I think it's timing. I wait for the timing.
I was waiting for you to mention that part because that's the part. Because you can't. All right, so like you can't be like overly mad and try to hold somebody accountable for their actions because then it's gonna come off wrong.
I mean, the sad part is depending on who it is, some people only receive it like that. Whereas though some people are just dysfunctional. Whereas though they only receive aggression or they gonna be like, listen.
Is there a word for that?
Crazy. So, what was I saying?
Crazy. That's what I remember.
Yeah, people get crazy like that. But what I'm saying, but no, what I'm saying is like, I think timing is everything when you gotta have a conversation, especially regardless of what. And sometimes I wait for people to open that door of the conversation, and then I'm like, well, since you brought it up, let's chit chat. And then sometimes I think it's easier to receive because now the conversation is open and you're asking me. As though some people are like, I ain't even asked you for your opinion. I mean, okay, but I gave it to you because you're looking real crazy right now. But I see when I'm being like that and my anger is at the best of me, I know I need that in that moment.
See, when it comes down, so I get what you're saying, like, far as that. So, like, usually, like, if, like, we're having a conversation and, like, a situation gets brought up, I might be like, you know, you don't be handling stuff like that correctly. I just want you to know that right now. And they be like, what you mean? I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. But, like, there are some times where you just got to be like, look, you need to.
Now, we'll say that. Do not ask me a question. And then when I'm honest about the answer, get upset. So I say that because it's like people want to know, tell me the truth. And this is that and the third. And I'm like, okay, I'm telling you the truth. And then when you tell them the truth, it's like they get mad at you. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, you can't ask me a question and I'm gonna be honest with you about how my view on the matter. You don't have to agree with it. Don't have to necessarily be correct because everybody is entitled to their opinion and their view on things. Now, how you receive it and what you do with it, that's on you. But if you ask me, I'm going to be honest. And it's the same way, like with my friends. Even if we all sitting around talking.
Question. If your friends, family, whomever, have to hold you accountable, how would you like to be held accountable? How would you like them to bring that to you?
Respectfully.
Explain that.
I think when it comes to, if I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest, when it comes to me, I oftentimes feel like people think I'm robotic. Like I don't have feelings. I don't have, like you can just say anything and I'm just like, whatever. But then when I react, so as long as I'm kikiing and laughing, it's okay. Fine. But when I react to what you're giving me, you might not like my reply. But it's also how you say something to me. Now, even if you be respectful and then I reciprocate with something, that just may be me, my wheels turning to, completely get it.
Right.
But instead of you getting mad at me because you're not liking what I'm saying, and then sometimes some people be completely wrong. My thing is, don't come to me off of an assumption thinking you holding me accountable for something. Have the conversation with me and ask me. And then we can talk about it from there. Because it could be a misunderstanding.
That's true. That's very true.
But I think when it comes to me, people like to come at me and they like, no, I was just trying to say, okay, and I just told you to back up out my face. I mean, approach and timing is everything. And sometimes you gotta see how people day is going. Everybody don't be wanting to hear that all the time.
Reading the room.
And a lot of people don't know how to read the room at all.
But I've realized
I don't sometimes.
Certain people, like they just don't get it.
No, I have a tendency to just say stuff. And sometimes it be needing to be said. It might not be the right time. But then sometimes I can hold it too long and then
just blow up.
No, it don't even blow up. I just be like, oh wow. And then I say it. If I could be calm, I mean, what you trying to say? I have arrived to the situation. That's what I said. Now, would you like to know more about that? But yeah, but if somebody was to approach me, but my thing is, don't try to do it in front of a bunch of people like you about to embarrass me. That's not going to happen. But like I said, respectfully. And I have a thing where I might be like, hey, can I ask you a question? People hate when I do that. But I really be having a question that I need answers to. So my thing is, if I don't ask, I won't know. If we don't have a conversation, I won't have an understanding. But at the same time, if you just say, hey, I need to talk to you, talk to me. Right. I told you, see how me accountable a couple weeks ago. And I was like, but it was how she did it. She wasn't nasty. She wasn't rude.
Yeah.
None of that. It was more so like, I've been meaning to say something. And you know how she talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, friend. I can't be friend. Like, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like it, but the approach, how she voiced herself, I had to hold myself accountable that sometimes I can't be concerned of my emotions and shut down. But again, like we talked about it before, that shutdown affects other people. So this is where my circle holds me accountable.
Right.
I'm getting a little bit better. I got work to do. I got a little bit better.
Right.
But I'm working on it. So it's kind of like, you can hold me accountable and I'm all for that, but don't think you're going to disrespect me in the process. Because I just don't go around disrespecting people. But once that switch is flipped, sorry. I think
it's going back with some
approach people and talk to them how you want them to talk to you. That's my thing.
I like that one.
But if you talk to me and you already look like it's getting ready to be a problem, in my mind, I'm ready. I'm
ready for whatever. Okay. So I realized that about myself as well. Like, I'm a reactor. I react.
You think so?
Yes. I think so. Like, depending on the situation, yeah, I'm a reactor. Because like you said, like you like they brought to you like respectfully. So I feel like sometimes like when people are just like I need to tell you I'm automatic like I don't know if you talk to me, should you ain't talk to me and and I just like I'm gonna go back with you because it's like I don't feel like you're trying to have a conversation with me. I feel like you're just talking at me, and I don't like being talked at.
I get that. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
that's why you got my food. But you know what? Are you a person? Be honest, because I'm not always like this. Who can acknowledge when you know you're in the wrong and nobody has to hold you accountable, or
there are moments when I can do that. There are some moments when
behaviors and actions can be extremely off-putting, whereas though a person can't have the conversation about whatever.
Wait, repeat that last part.
Okay, so you ever see people who you may like, I want to bring this up and talk to them about X, Y, and Z, right?
Right.
Once you talk to them, well, but their energy just always off, or when y'all do have a conversation, it's kind of like, well, I mean, you was just acting your attitude or your behavior, however your persona was.
Right.
Are you ever aware of that?
Like,
I know I am. I know when my attitude funky and my energy off.
Oh no, I'd say.
But I think sometimes also when that happens, we got to be mindful as well. That's when I hold myself accountable.
I know.
And I can be apologetic for that. But everybody is not like that. And then sometimes it's like your actions can determine how people talk to you, receive you, and all of those things.
For me, I feel like I get like that. Yes, I get like that, definitely. But I feel like I acknowledge it. And like, I'm very, very straightforward with it. Cause I'll even cause especially like somebody will be like, I'm trying to talk to you and this, that, and the third, and I'm going back with an attitude. I'm like, well, honestly, you didn't bring it to me correctly because now I feel like I gotta get smart.
That's what you saying?
Yeah.
Do you get cussed out?
That's bad. That's why, like, just how you said respectfully, like, I feel like when I bring certain situations to people, like, I'll come to them, like, in a calm manner. I wait for the right timing and stuff. I make sure I had my thoughts together before I come to them. So I feel like people don't do that with me. They just be ready to be on go. And I'll be like, I'm ready to go too.
Okay, so this is something that a lot of women do that they don't like to hear. So with that being said, what you just said, do you ever think sometimes when you think you're being respectful and you're reading the room and coming like innocently, so to speak, you're really not?
No, that's been time I've done where I have been right.
I wasn't. Do you acknowledge it? Are you apologetic for it?
Yeah,
Do you acknowledge it or what?
I'll apologize afterwards.
On your own?
I honestly could. I could. But it all depends on the person, honestly. For me, it all depends on the person. Because some people, even though like I'll come to them like, hey, like I do want to apologize for like how I talked to you, how I was acting when you were trying to tell me stuff. But then they start right back up. And then I'm right back on the same page. I know that's bad, but I be trying. I'm a work in progress. But I do think about a lot of situations and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have reacted that way. Or maybe I should have, calmed myself down in a situation. I shouldn't have been that person. Like I shouldn't have matched energy in a sense.
I'm a firm believer of matching energies. However, I've gotten a lot better. But what I can say is I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't always been, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Girl, okay.
No,
that would be me. That used to be me. I can honestly say I was that female.
I don't think I've ever apologized for anything that I've said. I've apologized about how I said it.
What if you was dead wrong?
I meant what
even
I said.
even if you meant what you said, but what you said was wrong.
I still meant it.
But can you take ownership when being wrong?
I can take ownership when being wrong, but like I said, I still meant it.
Mm. So that's not taking ownership.
I know I was wrong, but I meant what I said.
That's not taking ownership.
I meant what I said. That makes sense.
No,
yes, it do. That makes sense.
No.
Yes.
No. If you're wrong, listen. If we talking about something, right? Now, me being a prideful person, I don't like to be wrong. However, as I've evolved into this beautiful person that I am,
you tried so hard not to laugh just now.
No, seriously, if somebody say, hey, X, Y, and Z, and then I'm like, no, because da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Even if I'm aggressive and wrong, and right or aggressive and wrong, but then you can prove me wrong, I might be like, damn, I effed up. You get what I mean? Or my bad.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't,
I thought you were still talking about like when I'm mad.
No, even when I'm mad, but see, when you're wrong,
if I'm like,
if somebody proves you wrong when you're mad, you can't do nothing but humble yourself. You just wrong. See, but usually, if I'm mad, I'm mad because I'm right and you're not about to play in my face. If I'm wrong, I'm just like, all right.
No, there's been moments where I've like been able to say like, you know what, I was wrong completely. I can't say nothing, but I was wrong. But then there's times.
Did you apologize?
Yeah, I always apologize. That's my first thing I did. Because there's nothing I ever do to intentionally hurt anybody or it's intentionally to make people feel a certain type of way. There's nothing that I ever did. But when I notice that my actions are doing that, when it's brought to my attention, I can acknowledge that I'm wrong. But like I said, but like you said, timing and respect. It's the timing and respect of it.
So do you think when we said timing and respect, but what if your actions were disrespectful? Do you think the person should hold you accountable respectfully?
There's always a way to go about things. I mean, all right, so that's like a tit for tat. That's no longer like you trying to like, tell me like, hey, like I just want to let you know I want to hold you accountable for like what you did. No, that's a tit for tat. Like, because then like once you start getting disrespectful, you start to say certain stuff.
Okay, but hear me out. If you are wrong, dead wrong, and being disrespectful, let's just say you get.
You talking about in that very moment?
Yes. No, I'm just saying period. Because like I said, sometimes
I need a scenario.
Okay. Let's say we had a disagreement. Let's just say disagreement, and you could be wrong, and I'm right. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that, but you're passionate and you're wrong, and then I can break down to you why you're wrong, but because you're being like with me, I'm like pause because da 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 da. But I'm telling you why you're wrong. I'm doing this because this is how I'm receiving you. So now, yes, I matched your energy, but you're wrong.
Oh no! See, like I said, it's all about. It depends on the situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. It depends on the situation because there are a lot of times where I'm definitely most of the time. I would say 95% of the time.
I just get quiet. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm getting into a heated discussion with somebody
and I'm
wrong, I'm just
if it's a heated discussion and I'm wrong, I start laughing. I be like, oh my bad.
Oh no, I don't laugh in my mind.
I be like, my bad. I can't help but laugh.
How am I finesse this?
No, I can't.
Then when I can, I'm like, I can't. You know what? Just forget about it. You right. All right, you right.
No,
that's like
I don't want to do that.
No.
I'll be laughing. I'll be like, ooh.
No, that's like okay, you right. In a way where so I'm really telling you right, and you right, like, all right, leave me the hell alone, because now I know you right, and I'm mad. I can't even say nothing else, because my whole
I'd be like, I believe I was wrong just then, wasn't I? Like, if it was a heated discussion, and like you telling me I'm wrong, I'm like recognizing that, I'd be like, ooh, my bad, and I start laughing because I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you now, because what we gonna do about this conversation? I'd be like, ooh.
I have a quick question.
I might have an answer.
So it was a thing that said, okay, you gotta know your role and the responsibility that come with it. So I do the friendship role. I'm the friend that people talk to, but it's like I don't overcommit to that because I don't always I don't like always being that person. So do you think that has that plays a part in how people receive you?
Definitely.
Checking them?
Definitely. Because
I'm not checking them, but
I feel like far as with friendships, my role is I'm definitely like the mama. I'm the mom friend. Like I'm the one that everybody like comes to. I don't know why I'm the mom friend. I'm the strong friend. That's me. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, like when I come to people and I'll come to my friends. I'm gonna say friends because I only got like 3. Like if I go to them and I tell them like, hey, like, when you did this, like, I feel like you were a little wrong there. They receive it definitely better. But if you that friend, that's just the party wild one and you trying to tell me about myself, child.
What about relationships?
That's a whole nother story. Why we had to get into that?
Oh, I hold everybody accountable. I was just held accountable because I forgot a birthday. I didn't forget. I was just early.
That didn't make no daggone sense. You even saved it wrong. Huh?
I was listening. I had the right month.
That's what I said. That's what I told you. At least you had that part right.
But it was handled correctly. And I took accountability for being wrong.
What was nice about it was that, you was trying to do something real special. I think that was nice.
Yeah, but I also was like, I apologize. Because I knew better. What? I did.
Wait, I don't know. How did you find out that you had the wrong date?
Because I was like, hey, you ready?
Somebody got a birthday?
No, I was like, are you ready for Monday? And they was like, why do you keep asking me that? And I said, your birthday coming up? Like, you still don't know what you want to do? You don't know what you want? Nothing like that. I even told you, like, girl, ain't helping me out here. Trying to get a nice gift. Ain't working. He was like, listen, I don't know who birthday on Monday, but that's not mine. I said, your birthday is January the 10th. He said, who?
Did you?
And he was like,
wait, I just want y'all to understand something. She was so serious when this happened. I don't remember how she found out it was the wrong date, but all I hear is Tay. She said,
that's how he said it.
She said, it's not the 10th. It's not the 10th.
He said, who birthday? I said, yours. He said, when is it? I said, on the 10th. I said, I'm trying to hurry up, I said, you got to help me out here. He said, birthday is on the 27th. I said, damn. I said, when that happened? He said, since I was born. It's been that way. I said, I know you lying. I said, well, my goodness.
I want to know who birthday is the 10th.
Mikey's. Went to work Monday. They was like, oh, it's her birthday.
Like, oh,
no, she wasn't there, but they was like, Mikey's birthday today. I said, that's who birthday today.
Did they got similar names or something?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know. I just said the 10th was on my mind. And I think because the last time I saw her, she was talking about her birthday. And then, so I don't know why, but I had it saved in my phone as the 10th. And he said, you ain't never told me you had birthday on no 10th. I said, oh, wow. I said, sorry. So I'm sorry, I'll make that up to you. Well, you'll get a nice gift on 27th then.
See, at least yours was small.
What?
So
I'm always held accountable.
No, but that was just a small situation. All mine been pretty big, But it's the same.
You have
big
an over
one.
a thing?
It's the same big one.
I used to do that.
It's the same big one, and I don't like that.
What?
I don't like it.
What?
When people try to hold you accountable for the same thing over and over again.
Huh?
Right.
No, explain that.
Okay, so you said relationships, right? All right, relationships.
Wait a minute. Okay, we have 10 minutes.
Okay, that's enough time. No, because I'm being serious.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't gonna lie, I was wrong. Even though, I've talked to you about this and you told me how, everything's a little bit different. But, I recognize where I was wrong in the situation.
What did I say?
You said that technically I wasn't wrong because of some confusion. I said, because I don't want to put the whole situation out there because of some confusion. Think you got this.
Oh no, you was definitely not wrong.
Okay.
You wasn't wrong.
But let me tell you how I was. All right. Not gonna lie, because I was.
Oh Lord, you got it.
I had to piece it together for you. So there was boundaries talked about. Boundaries were set. I still crossed them.
No,
I still crossed them.
you can't.
We'll talk about it later. But like I said, so they held me accountable for it. And I apologize, and I humbled myself. I didn't even say too much. I was just quiet. I was like, you know what?
I don't agree with apologizing for the same thing 1,000 times. I'm sorry.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Taking accountability, like trying to make somebody take accountability for the same situation over and over and over again. I feel like we've discussed it. I took accountability for it. And at that point, we have to find a way to move forward. If it's that serious, we have to find a way to move forward. Right. So that we don't keep having the same type of conversation. Because obviously the conversation ain't ending too well. You feel me? It's just.
So that's not accountability. I'm gonna tell you what that is. That is lack of receiving the truth. So no, this is serious. When people like, oh, I'm gonna hold you accountable. My thing is this: if a person apologizes for something, right?
Yeah.
You do not saying that person that apologized for it. Yeah, because I'm about to tell the truth. So
thank you, Rich.
The person will be like, don't throw the same thing up in my face or do the same thing or commit the same action over and over again, but we still here in an open box. The box ain't closed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So if you're gonna keep on dangling something over my head, but once I said, okay, my bad, and you forgave me for it, leave it alone. But if you're gonna keep bringing it up in my face,
say face like that,
because I meant it,
my face.
If you keep on throwing it up in my face, I'm gonna go, because I don't want to keep talking about the same thing over and over, because then I'm looking at it like, okay, if you're not going to do it, it's not going to limit, because it's not going to go nowhere. I'd rather you to go ahead about your business.
And that's how I felt about it, because I'm just like, if you can't get past it and we can't move forward from this, then there's no point in me being here. That's what I'm saying.
If we're not together, I can do what I want to do. So what I tell you, Dale said, you are single until you get a ring. I don't see nothing. None.
That's the great words of them.
That's all I'm saying. But if you're not with somebody,
no, that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel
if we're not together, don't question me about
that. I didn't feel like I was wrong, but I understand where like he was coming from, far as like with his morals or whatever. Like, I gotta explain to you more about it, because there's some in-depth
morals.
Stuff. It was some stuff in
morals?
There that like
that's the word that was used.
He tried to use morals and values against me. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, my morals is here.
Not with that
one, but
not with that display. What?
We'll talk.
Morals. That's the word. How did you hold them accountable for using the wrong termage?
Oh, so what I did was, I started holding him accountable. Oh yeah, I need a pen. I started talking with my hands.
Yeah, I wanted to just point out, then I had to throw something back. Go ahead.
No, so like, at like, the first time we talked about it, I was like, you know what, he's upset, he's frustrated, I get it. Like, I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my actions, blah, blah, though I don't feel like I was that wrong. I'm gonna still, do what I need to do. So when the situation came up a second time, same situation, I was like, you're gonna have to work on how you're talking. I said, because the way you talking, I ain't gonna receive it very well. I'm saying, I'm just letting like the way you're talking to me. I said, you're not talking to me.
Rich Fatty. I'm sorry, I just saw that. That's the song you about to play. Okay.
I had to let him know, like, I was like, Because he was just like, how you going to try to play victim when I'm the one telling you how I feel? And I had to let him know, like, no, you're not saying how you feel. You're just yelling. You're fussing. What you fussing for? If you really want to talk, we can have a conversation. But this ain't a conversation because now I want to fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I was feeling because I ain't like the way he was gonna talk to me type of way. You're my child. So yeah.
Violence isn't the answer.
It's not the answer.
Don't wake up.
I didn't. Dude, it's not funny.
Don't wake
I
up
ain't fighting.
She woke up and chose violence.
I didn't choose violence. I used my mouth. I ain't use my hands. Don't let them fool you. That was a good one.
We can because I'm gonna continue this one later because I got another question. Well, actually, let me ask you real quick in 5 minutes. Because we was talking about that. So okay, not even that situation because I'm gonna go in and I want to. I'm working on it. So how important do you think it is when you're dealing with somebody to hold people accountable? Or can you deal with somebody who can't be held accountable?
I can't. Because that's a part of communication. Mm-hmm. If I can't hold you accountable, you can't hold me accountable, how are we communicating? It's kind of just,
ain't that the talking phase? Ain't that what it's called? Where you just talk?
We're just talking. I don't like how we're saying talk right now. Talk.
I mean, you just talk about it.
I mean, like in the talk. Okay. Can we discuss how long the talking stage should be? Because
I know you lying.
I know one thing. It may be different for everybody, but like
after the break, we're gonna talk about holding accountability. Yes, I need to have that conversation. Accountability of a time frame of stuff. That's going to be a good one. I got a whole bunch on that one.
I want to know, everybody that's listening right now, how long do y'all think the talking stage is supposed to be? Because my tail will stay talking forever.
How long would you talk to somebody? In the talking stage.
Maybe. So, like, for me, it always depends on the person's situation. Because
I ain't
technically, if you want to be technical, I really wasn't talking to anybody. We be technical. I was chilling.
Oh, I'd be chilling.
I was chilling.
That's what it's called nowadays.
That's what I was doing.
We're gonna go to the break because I gotta have that comfort. Did you say the time frame?
Time frame.
I got some other stuff on that one. But we're gonna take this quick 5-minute break. We're gonna come back. Welcome back to the Casual Konvo show with me, Coco, and Tajah. You're co-hosting with me. And Lloyd.
What am I saying?
But wait a minute, is she trying to sit cute? She got her face.
The leg cross. Okay.
This is an intro.
Okay.
Look at the wine glass. Okay.
I'm loving it. It's everything.
Girl.
Jude decided to join. I ain't finished my intro. I was had to go in first.
What to say?
I ain't finished. Go ahead, sit back. Look how she said that.
Let me sit back. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta do the voice. Okay, so joining us for the segment of the show is the creator and creative, the artist known as Jude.
Okay.
Hey y'all. Thank you for having me. You see how I was trying to cover the butt?
Wait a minute. I said, okay, face, beat, everything. You look cute.
Like you know, I was in there like, oh, I got to go in there. Let me get camera ready. You know, I had to be Jude, the lady. I can't be Jude, the dude.
Well, let's get straight to it.
Love y'all, miss y'all.
Well, first, do you want to say anything about what we already talked about? Because she want to finish talking about how the time frame of holding people accountable of the talking phase before they understand or know what they want. And then I was going to go from there or anything that was discussed in the thing. And then we got some other stuff.
Before she even say like anything about that, I want to know what her definition of accountability is.
First. I told you in the beginning, you wasn't listening.
No, I know the definition, but I want to hear her definition.
Oh, Jude, I thought she was talking about me. See, I ain't do that.
So like, I feel like when you hold yourself accountable, like you are aware, like you make yourself, like you hold yourself responsible, like you are acknowledged that you did something or said something or about to do something. You're aware of your actions. Being accountable is mean you're aware of what you're doing. That's my definition of accountability. Yeah, I believe people need to know.
So, okay, question. So
she is living. I love it.
we didn't fully answer. We're gonna pick up where we left off because she asked the question, and I know you and I had talked about briefly over the course of time. So let me just say one thing. I'm glad you're here because the topic for this show actually came from her. You know, she be like, friend, listen. Well, you should talk because I got a lot to say on this one. I'm going to be a little bit busy at first, but I'm going to come in and say something. And I said, okay. And then everybody just kept throwing the word around. And I said, well, we're going to talk about it.
I mean, we did touch on it a little bit. But it's not.
You know?
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, as I'm growing in life, I'm starting to hold myself accountable for a lot of things. And I just be wanting to make other people aware of that too. Like, you know, you got to be accountable of your actions. Like I'm at a stage where I'm like, you know, I kind of know when I'm doing something wrong. So it's my responsibility to either go through with it or back out with it. Like, nah, you know that's wrong. But I know the consequences. So if I get caught and what I'm doing, then I need to be able to, you know, hold myself accountable for whatever action is going to be taken. So yeah. So I just, you know, feel like a lot of people miss that part when it comes to in life in general. Like I used to be that way. You know, I didn't, never saw wrong in anything I did. But you know, when you sit back and you be like, damn, man, you know, that was like kind of screwed up, you know. And you hold yourself accountable for your actions, then you know you see things different. You start to move different. You start to be different. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's actually a good thing.
Still trying to be different.
I'm a work in progress, Jude. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you see me sitting here like, let me
you came in too cute. And now when I see her on Friday, she gonna come in back and, did you see me? Did you see me?
I feel like I ain't seen you in forever. I feel like I ain't seen you since last year. When last time I seen you? Last year? I ain't seen you since last year. But don't worry, I'm gonna see you this year.
Yeah, I had to
This
play.
is the corniest joke I've ever heard.
What?
I ain't seen you since last year. It's only 11 days.
No, it was literally 2021 when I saw.
Did you just call our joke corny? It was not corny.
That's what she might include it.
First of all,
because you know why? Because you know why? Because I bet you gonna say you gonna tell somebody that.
Dude, I really want to know your answer on this. How long should the talking stage be? Like, what's your time frame on the talking stage?
Yes, I feel like you had no. All right. So at first, I used to feel like, you know, couple months, 30, 60 days, whatever. But now, like I said, I'm at a different place in life. I feel like the talk. No bullcrap. I feel like the talking stage is different. Like the talking stage is like, I feel like you'll know when the time is right. When it's time for y'all to move on, both of y'all kind of just know. But y'all get your healing out. If like you come from another, like it ain't gotta be from another relationship. It could be like for some stuff, some past stuff, some personal stuff, some work stuff, some life stuff, some friendship stuff, some family stuff. It could be anything. You feel me? Like you get, done whatever, healing you need to do in life. And as y'all grow and y'all move on, you don't know if it's right. And sometimes you make a mistake. You better get the hell out of there.
Okay, I got a question because we touched on it a little bit, but I know your answer may be a little different. How do you get
real good?
How do you hold your partner accountable, or how would you like your partner to hold you accountable give a brief description of a good, or it doesn't have to be a bad situation. It could be good because accountability can be holding somebody accountable for a good outcome or a bad outcome. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the relationship accountability. Then we're going to go into professional accountability.
Ooh, that's a big one. All right, go ahead.
Something as simple as filling up the car. If you drive your partner car and you ask your partner, can you hold the car? And you take the car, you go drive around, you know, when your girls have out without you bring the car back and you don't fill it up. Your partner get mad, you want to fuss back and forth. The partner's holding you accountable for not filling up the tank, you feel me, and you borrowed the car. You should hold yourself accountable. You should understand that. So I feel like that's a good one, right? You said real short. So I try to get something simple.
Okay, how do you expect, or how would you like, whether it's a friend or your partner, to hold you accountable? What ways would you like for them to hold you accountable, and how would you like for them to do it?
Like, treat my stuff like you treat yours. I feel like if you're my friend, I let you hold my car. Treat my car like you treat yours. Or treat it like it's not yours. Treat it like it's a rental. Like, don't be out here, you know, hitting potholes and running red lights and getting tickets, or, you know, accidents happen, but don't purposely, you know, run a light or a stop sign. You feel me? Like, if you give me your car, you know, I'm responsible enough, and if something was to happen, you can hold me accountable for getting your car fixed. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. And I vice versa. If you're my friend and I let you hold my car and you get into an accident, I expect for you to, you know, I shouldn't have to come out of pocket for that. You should. I mean.
So let's just say something went left, not just saying, and it could be a small, like something went left. How would you like to be handled or approached in that situation? As far as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a certain word that I'm looking for. How,
like, if you were in the wrong and you know you were in the wrong?
No, you were in the wrong.
Oh, I'm in the wrong?
How would you like for someone to hold you accountable for being in the wrong, and how would you like for them to approach you?
Oh, come and talk to me. I mean, you gotta come and talk to a person. Like, I don't know. I'm in lady mode. Like, oh, excuse me, y'all. Did that belch came out of nowhere? I was a straight old dude. Excuse me, public.
That was the past life.
Well, definitely the past life. He was like, she's still here. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, come and talk to me. Like, don't talk at me, talk to me. Like, hey, you know, Jude, let me talk to you real quick. I didn't like blase, but I didn't like how you said what you said to me. Or earlier what you said, I know you meant well, but how you said it, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. Like, sometimes just talk to people. If you come at me, like Coco said, you come at me, and it's your approach wrong, I could read it wrong. And I'm often read wrong because sometimes I speak with aggression. I speak, you know, you say I got a little deep voice. Sometimes I talk with my hands, so I'm a little hood when I talk sometimes, so it could be read wrong. But if I offend you, just be like, you know, I ain't like that. It's okay. If you gotta take a minute and step back, that's something I'm learning too. Take a minute, step back, and just, you know, come talk to me. Don't come at me, because we both gonna be wrong at that time.
Question: has that ever been a time where you feel like you approached somebody wrong when you told them about accountability, like holding them accountable for something? Do you feel like you approached them in the wrong way?
Yeah, I do. And
I like scenarios.
Well, I don't know. It would depend on. Right now, I can't really pinpoint. Like at work, no bull crap. At times, I kind of can be a little harsh when I'm frustrated. Yeah, for real, because I wasn't trying to use it. I wasn't trying to use work for real. But like at work, I can be a little harsh with the way I come off with things because I can get frustrated. But what I'm working on now, before I really didn't care. But the me now is working on trying to have a better approach and not, you know, I feel like at times when I'm frustrated, I can be a talk at instead of a talk to. So holding myself accountable and recognizing that, I'm trying to fix that, and trying to come up with a different approach. However, that is challenged at times, but that's also what another thing. That person got they're self accountable at times. And other people too, because it's not even just that. Let me just talk about the cafeteria. The cafeteria needs to be held accountable for a lot of things. You feel me? I can talk about a lot of things that work. Let's talk about the cafeteria. Oh, we ain't gonna go there because they
talk about you. We not talk about the whole job. We talk about you.
So I had a moment real quick because I can hold a lot of you hold a lot of places accountable. You feel me? But yeah,
that cafeteria is trash. I ain't gonna lie, and they do need to be held accountable for not only being trash, serving trash food, but having trash attitude, trash service, trash everything, trash everywhere.
Yeah, but no, at work, I would like for my coworkers, they do what they do. You feel me? Don't nobody pay nobody no mind when nobody got no attitude, because everybody hold each other accountable for their own actions. You gotta kind of check yourself, get together, and come back with a different approach. And I think that's everybody. So in life, I'm learning with that too, like how I want people to approach me, the way I'm trying to approach people, with respect and not talk at people, talk to people. I'm learning, and I think a lot of us are learning that.
I have a question
for both of us.
Yeah, because it's different age ranges in this conversation.
Me and TC the same age.
Lies, all lies.
For real.
Her girl. Anyway.
Her.
So what I was going to ask is, do you think when it comes to, because we both, throughout the conversation, everybody was talking about it's like levels. And then where your mindset is, where you are in your growth and changing and developing and all of that stuff. Do you think it changes as you, I could say, mature over the course of time, how you hold yourself accountable and how other people hold you accountable? Because like for me now, I can honestly say, like I always say, my friendships have changed. And I think the circle of friends that I have now, the accountability piece, I like it because we all hold each other accountable with no cut cards, but at the same time, it's not done distastefully.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then it's also like there's a certain line of respect that's being brought to it, whereas though, okay, I can respect this person. I know they're not trying to hurt me or whatever. It's not malicious intent.
Right.
And it's still like, but I think we all got an idea of how to approach people, whereas though some people may not do that. Whereas though in my past, I probably would have been like, F you and your feelings about it. You get what I mean? So I think, do you think the evolvement of you yourself over time kind of predicts how you react to being held accountable?
I feel like it definitely did. It definitely does. I feel like, I'm the youngest one here, but like, I feel like, honestly, like my friend group, I feel like we do a pretty good job of holding each other accountable and, letting each other know certain things. But I feel like it took us time to get there. It definitely took time because we all had to mature a different way. We all had to understand certain things in life first. Because like, at one point I would talk to one friend and they would be like, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't do that. And I'd be like, well, I'm going to let you figure it out on your own. And then they would come to me like, I do that. I do that pretty often. And I'd be like, yeah, I told you. Like, and definitely all based upon maturity though.
Yeah. What about you?
What was the question? Because I was listening to the tape.
Do this. Girl, you got this whole going live. She's not about why we're gonna hold you accountable for not listening.
Listen, and I was sitting there listening to the stage and like, yeah, and I was like, wait, what was the question? I forgot that quick.
So basically,
y'all know why.
So basically, do you feel like? Wait, how did you word?
Did she get closer to the camera?
She gotta hear.
That's why.
She gotta hear us. So basically, she's asking like, do you feel like? She's
question was,
I love that when she goes back, there's a picture of herself. How she do that?
when do you think that over time with maturity and as your growth, do you?
Yes, I do think that. I knew what I wanted to say. That's why I was trying to forget what I wanted to say. Girl, don't never let me do medicine again before the show. All right, so I do. I do. I had an important point. I don't feel like I grew up until I was like 30. I don't want y'all to know how old I am, but like I'm younger than that now. But anyway, yeah, I don't feel like I grew up until I was like 30. And me being Benjamin Button and all. So, I didn't know a lot of things, but it was like I woke up at that age, like I literally woke up like 30 in a day. And I was like, I gotta get my life together. And I swear, I feel like I just got like mature as hell, like 31 and a half day. I don't know. It was just like, for real. Y'all think I'm joking. It just seemed like every day after I turned 30, like, I just started growing up and I wanted to be better. I wanted to think better. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. So I feel like I'm still a baby until my adulthood.
I would love to hear your response to that when you get 40. Because I think each decade, we like, child, but I know that you get it's like you do tend to look at life a lot differently.
Must be nice.
In certain ways. But
it don't start happening to you in your 30s because I'm telling you, I ain't give a damn in my 20s, Coco. I'm telling you. I did not.
But I can. And I'm in my 20s.
Y'all different generations. Y'all responsible. Y'all way more responsible.
What I'm saying is I think your thinking process, your mindset, your outlook on life as you go through life and experiences, it tends to make you react and look at situations differently. So how I looked at things in my 30s, how I look at things in my 20s, how I look at things in my teens are a lot different from how I look at them now. You get what I mean? Is what I'm saying. So the accountability aspect and the responsibility aspect is a lot different than it was in those age brackets. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But anywho, the question.
I had way less responsibility for some reason.
Okay, but
professional
accountability.
Ball game.
I think when it comes to professional accountability, and Jude can vouch for this one, we tried to hold somebody accountable. The question I asked was, what is the goal? Mm-hmm. The response I got was, what do you mean? I said, hey, boyfriend. I said, the goal. So, meaning, what are we getting ready to work towards?
Right.
What are we going to set so we can be on the same page?
Right.
So, my thing is, if we can be held accountable for whether it's an error, a mistake, anything, I think leadership should also be able to be held accountable too. Mm-hmm. Respectfully.
Definitely.
And willingly. But it also comes with taking ownership. And I think a lot of times people think with their role and their position, they don't have to take accountability or ownership for anything because they hold a certain position. They want to pass that down to somebody else. That's not going to happen with me. And I think that's like a constant battle many people have in the work world. Is, people in certain roles being held accountable for decision making,
definitely,
operations, when things go wrong. So it's like, if you're following the structure and the protocols and the procedures and stuff still not working, that's our fault. Huh?
Yeah.
So who can accountable for that?
I'm about to lose my job.
Leaders lead and boss is boss.
No, because honestly, like, leadership, they definitely need to work on taking accountability. Because at the end of the day, the workers are being led by somebody. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you're telling me like this is how I'm supposed to run things, and I'm just the worker, and you're the manager, mm-hmm. and you're like, okay, well, this is how things are done because this is how it runs smoothly, right? But I'm like, kind of like, but me, I'm still on the defense about what you're saying because I'm like, maybe if it went a little bit differently, it could be a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna listen to what I'm told to do. I'm gonna do it the way I was supposed to, and it's still not working. The leadership needs to take accountability for that because you're the one that made how the flow's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, like you can't blame that on me because the flow not working right. I'm doing what I was told to do. Now I have suggestions. Now that you see that it was wrong.
In my growth, I've just learned that leaders lead and bosses boss.
Michelle.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Leaders lead, bosses boss.
Okay, but even with that being said, I'm going to say this. With having a role, and I think it's safe to say we've all in this conversation have held roles of leadership. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Understanding your role, comprehension of your role.
So this is back to the know your role thing.
But that's the part of accountability. You got to know your role.
Right.
What your role is in order to make certain decisions, because you got to make decisions for other people.
Right.
When they come to you, and you got to be able to make those decisions, whether it's a critical, non-critical, whatever situation is going on, right? Mm-hmm. So if I make a decision and it become a shit show, I can't blame my staff.
Right.
I got to take ownership for that. Mm-hmm. Now, if I make a decision and it's a great outcome, I can also take accountability, right, for that. But at the same time, I think the issue that most people have, like, I don't want to work for nobody, because a lot of people, when they get in these positions, they don't have a clear understanding of what they're accountable for. Right. They want to push the button.
Yeah,
they just want to dictate.
Definitely. Honestly,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I was a manager, I would take accountability for a lot of stuff. The person that was above me. If my shift didn't run correctly, mm-hmm, she didn't go to the staff. She went to me. I was the one. She was like, "Well, what happened on your shift? Mm-hmm. That went what was wrong on your shift, and how can it be better?" I'm sorry, y'all. My phone is down. Okay. She's like, "You can't we can't keep having shifts go down like that. Let's see how we can make it better." Mm-hmm. And then I would tell her how I would position people or how I would do certain things. She's like, well, maybe if you would have put this person here instead of you being there, it wouldn't have went that way. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'll try that next time. See what happens.
Okay. Jude, a question for you.
Wait a minute. I want to ask a question. Who do y'all feel? Y'all gonna think this is not a serious question, but I have a serious question. Who do we hold accountable for the people that's applying for restaurants and food jobs that cannot cook? Because I'm tired of wasting my money. For real. No, for real. I'm tired of wasting my money.
Okay, Tajah and Rick, you know about the grilled cheese.
I had one today.
No, did she run it through the toaster? Let me tell you.
No, but it was like this much cheese in there today. But
wait, I just want to point out one thing. I'm the best grilled cheese maker. That's all I wanted to say.
Anyway, let me tell y'all, I understand where you're coming from because I wanted to know who I held accountable that day for that lady. I said, give me a grilled cheese sandwich. I should get the bread. I say, I put a slice, and the toaster, put the other piece of bread. She ran it through the toaster and tried to wrap it up. I said, who gonna eat that? She was like, you don't want it? Ma'am, it's not even melted. That's dry as it was dry. Wasn't no margarine, no butter. Nothing. She just ran it through the toaster and tried to wrap it in something. I said, "You gonna eat that? I'm not eating that."
Did she do that with your, did she do that with your grilled cheese
I'm not
today?
eating that.
No. But but
was your
they
grilled
put
cheese
like
made?
3 pieces of cheese on there. It was like this much. The cheese was like oozing out. It was like melted grilled cheese. I thought I was going. I couldn't do it. So I ate the edges and left the middle.
Hey,
I feel like during the hiring process, I want to understand the hiring process.
That ain't it though. Wait a minute, no, that's not the only
place. Shouldn't they make one dish before they get hired to prove that they can cook?
But what about the cheesesteak spot around the corner? That when I was like, asked for extra sauce, she told me, she was like, "You doing too much."
First of all, you're not about to charge me $15 for a sandwich and tell me I'm doing too much for telling you I want a little bit more sauce. Now, first of all, I get mad about sauce too, because if I say extra sauce, first of all, don't take something like this and put sauce in it right here and talking about that's $1 extra. Ma'am, pour that thing to the top and give me another one. That's 50 cents a piece.
Right, what they like 50 cents?
No, they be trying to overcharge you for real. Like, I'm holding them accountable for what is it called, jacking up the prices for nothing, and y'all can't even do nothing right. Period. Yeah. Ain't no. You ever have a try chicken cheese? I wish you could have. She ran it through the toaster, and it was one of them.
I didn't have one of them, TT, but yeah, I didn't have one of them. But I'm never. But yeah, but back to you had a question for me. I'm sorry. I'm need to hold somebody accountable.
She had a question.
Yeah, it was serious. That made me, every time she talked about that character, I just think about that girl. I was so mad. I was hungry that morning, and I don't do breakfast and stuff like that. I said, "Man, I'm not eating that," and I did not. I get right back, ma'am. Give me my coins. I ain't that.
Like, no, all right. Let me ask y'all a question. And y'all growth in life, who do y'all hold the most accountable for the decisions and things that you've made?
Myself. Definitely myself.
Wow.
I asked that for a reason.
They should be serious.
Well, honestly speaking, now I hold myself accountable. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. I do hold myself accountable now. Honestly, I'm going to say I wasn't always taught everything I needed to know. Not saying that's a good or a bad thing or the fault of anybody, because they may not have known. I do believe certain decisions that I've made, I probably would have made better decisions if I would have had a little bit more knowledge and guidance of it. So I don't want to say it's one person. I blame my village at the time for certain things that I had to, endure and learn on my own to have a better understanding. But now I just hold myself accountable because I'm like, okay, I've learned over the years. I've asked before I wouldn't ask questions, I wouldn't do a whole lot. I ask questions. I'm going to look into something before I make a final decision. Whereas though before I just used to do shit and figure it out.
Oh no, I hold myself accountable for every decision I made. Because at the end of the day, nobody held a gun to my head and told me to do something. So,
a question. When you ever see somebody, you try to hold somebody accountable for a situation or anything, and they always placing the blame on other people instead of taking ownership for their faults. How do you deal with that?
Yep. Yes.
Go ahead and say something.
Do you want to go
yes.
first? Go.
There are a lot of people out here in the world, but yes, I do know a few people. I do know a few people. I used to be a person that used to blame, others for things that went wrong in my life until I realized, like what part I played in those things that went wrong in my life. And I sit back and I still watch some people, that still do that as they, grow, and eventually they'll grow out of it. But that takes growth. and it takes you holding yourself accountable for, you know, your actions. You can't really blame everybody else for the things that you do.
I ain't gonna lie. I know a few people like that. I know a few people that place blame on everybody else but themselves. And then, of course, because like I said before, like, you know, I'm the mom I'm the mom in of my friend group. I'm the one that everybody come to for the honest truth. You know what I mean? So usually they'll be like, if they would have never did this, I would have never made the decision. I'd be like, no, your dumb tail made the decision. At the end of the day, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself for doing that dumbness. You should have never did it in the first place.
Yeah, and I'm getting tired of having to tell other adults, like, yeah, that was kind of stupid. Like, you use your common sense.
Like, you didn't think that all the way through. I feel like now you can tell when somebody didn't think something all the way through just by how they tell you what happened. Like, I know I didn't think something through when I say, you I know what had happened was.
Yeah, I think
I know I was wrong as soon as I say the words.
I'll be like, yeah.
No, I think, like, for instance, if like when people say, well, okay, so let's say you having a one-on-one with somebody about maybe something could happen. You found the right time and everything to say something like, hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, and the outcome could have been bad, right? Mm-hmm. And you hold them. I mean, but if this person, they never say, okay, and it's like, okay, but maybe you could have tried X, Y, and Z, right? And the person like, no, but this is in third, and it's always somebody else and never that person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's, how do you deal with that?
Like a scenario. Me and my cousin, we stopped speaking because I'm going to choose my words. That's another thing. Choose your words. Me and my cousin stopped speaking over a gas can because she would not hold herself accountable for her actions, and I was holding her accountable because it was mine. I loaned it to her. I didn't get it back. She felt as though, you know, it wasn't her responsibility to give it back because I sent it to her, but it was the whole nature, the principle behind it. And I was like, well, if you would have did this instead of that, I wouldn't have, you know, did that and blah, blah, blah. And long story short, I didn't get it back, but she didn't feel responsible. She would not hold herself accountable for asking me for something and not making sure I got it back. And I was holding her. So something as simple as that, like, and we never got past something so stupid, you feel me? Over somebody just being like, I was wrong. But if it was me, you feel me? I probably would have been like, you know, it was my bad. Here, let me replace it. Mm-hmm. I would have held myself accountable. So I hold my friends to the same standards and family to the same standards as, you feel me, I would have.
I got a question.
It's something simple.
I got a question. Have y'all ever like known somebody that's always like, everybody always say I'm this, and this, but that's not even the case?
I used to be like that.
I don't think
I did. I used to be like that. I used to be like, I'm not even like that. Okay, yes, I was.
I've done that
before. But when it came to certain stuff, even when it came to like pride,
do you feel like that's like more of a pride thing?
I'm very prideful. I know.
No, but I'm saying, do you feel like that's a prideful thing to do?
Yeah and no.
Wish you sit your ass down so it come.
Yeah and no because sometimes when your pride is in the way, a situation that could be avoided occurs because you either don't ask for help and try to do it on your own. It's like a self-proof thing. And usually that's where most things, and I ain't gonna lie, I made a lot of decisions and things that I didn't have to because of my pride. And I think sometimes that's what happens when you lack accountability. It's like sometimes you gotta let your pride go. Right. I'm slowly but surely learning that. I'm still very prideful, but I do understand it can't be just me. And I think that's why some people a lot of times think I'm a robot and don't have no feelings. So they like, you just don't care. I do, but I don't, what?
Yeah, I'm still working on being proud and stubborn.
I think that's why I'm so emotional with certain stuff now. And I want to talk about stuff. And I'm like, okay, you can't do it by yourself. Right. And I understand. And I know what it's like to be in a position where you have to do everything by yourself. Right. And I think that's where when some people be like, well, you did X, Y, and Z. This is in the third. You did it. Okay, fine. I did it, but that don't mean I had no choice but to do it on my own. If you don't, and I can see that, okay, this is going to go really, really left. Right. I would, if I can prevent that left and keep you straight, I'm gonna do that because I know how it feels to do that, and then you got to pick up extra pieces. Because when you do stuff like that by yourself, sometimes it's a worse situation at the end. Now you gotta get back to that one, to get back to the straight and narrow.
When those people be like, everybody keeps saying this about me, but they don't even know me, and I'd be like, no, that is you.
I feel like some people are aware and some people not aware.
No, because
some people know
about it. If somebody keeps telling, like, if this,
you look at me when you look at me when you said
if more people, if so many people around you are saying one thing about you, and you like, where are they getting this from? Obviously, it's something about you. Like, I don't get that. Like, no, that's you. You need to accept that. You need to fix that.
Yeah, but I think that's also the thing with people not being self-aware, whereas though they can take accountability and understand what people are trying to say. Some people just don't. You ever see some people, they could be wrong, and you may be very knowledgeable about something, and I'm quite sure you can relate. And if I say, well, yeah, you're like, well, no, because X, Y, and Z. And you got facts to prove it. And they be like, well, no, because they're going to do whatever to push their narrative. And in your mind, you like, no. And they like, I'm trying to tell you. And it's kind of like beating a dead horse over and over again. After a while, I ain't going to keep beating the horse. I'm just let you tip right on up.
At that point.
Some people just don't want to hear what you got to say. Like, some people, they want to be heard. They don't want to listen.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing with accountability is how people communicate and how they. Let me clarify communicate because I say that every freaking show, but people be like, I know how to communicate. And we all know how to talk, right?
Everybody knows how to talk.
But right, a lot. But see, that's the thing. People are like, yeah, I heard you, but there's a difference in listening and understanding.
Right.
And me and Jude had this conversation every day. You can hear what somebody's saying, but that don't mean you comprehended everything that they said.
Right.
Okay.
That's how I used to be. I used to listen and respond. I still do sometimes.
Jude, how do you feel about listening to response?
The way she sat back, I know.
I feel like there are people in this world that just do not listen, and some people that just really do not listen. It's like no, some people don't. They just don't hear it no way but their way, and they don't see it no way but their way. They don't. You know, like some people only hear their self-talk. Like they hear you talking, but they so busy can't wait to say what they got to say. I'm trying to choose my words. Don't you see me trying to choose my words?
I'm so proud of you.
Growing. It's the growth for me.
All right. So, question then. With that being said,
She's still there.
She's
still there. She be like,
but why are you thinking of your word? Do you think even with that part, like when people don't listen and only choosing to hear what they want to hear and taking from what they want to take from, I feel like those people who don't take accountability in that way, they always pushing it out, pushing the blame, and always having a rebuttal. Mm-hmm. Do you think they make the poorest decisions?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. First of all, you can't. I feel like sometimes when you try to make a decision and it requires a group decision, you can't individually make a decision for a group. Though that's how some people think you should operate. But if it works better when like everybody collectively work together or think together or fix this problem solve, like you learn that in elementary, middle, and high school, like problem solving. I mean, shoot, just say it. You learn that in school. Why you make me say that? See, I was being nice. But
do you
anyway.
think some people trust themselves, or do you think people who lack accountability have a sense of distrust?
I feel like it's definitely a lack of distrust, whether it's in other people or within themselves, but they can't really decipher what it is.
Okay. Jude?
I feel like they know they be bullshit, so they think everybody go bullshit. Because real recognize real. I'm just being honest. I'm not gonna hold you more accountable for nothing that I ain't gonna do. So look, I need you to pull your weight because I'm only gonna pull mine so we don't all the way fall. Don't let the boat all the way sink. Like motherfuckers plug it somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Did I answer the question?
So how? All right. Because you said you're growing. So I'm gonna take these last couple minutes. I'm gonna just let y'all freestyle it. What would you do moving forward to better hold yourself accountable and others around you accountable?
For me, it's really like it's. No, why you think it's so?
Like
she got like, damn. Wait a minute.
Let me go first. I'm gonna let you think a little bit. I'm gonna let you think, okay?
You need to think. Oh my God.
For me, what was the question? Because now I lost my train of thought laughing. I lost my train of thought laughing.
What would you do moving forward to hold yourself accountable?
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's mainly reflection. For me, everything is like reflection. Like when things happen in my life, like situations, good or bad, I usually reflect on it. Like, okay, so what did I do right? What did I like, or where did I go wrong? How can I be better in a sense? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to stay the same. Like, I want to continue to grow. But at the same time, I want to be able to grow with the people that's around me. I want to be able to hear them out as well as them hearing me out. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I always.
Do you think the people that surround you gonna be the same people around you
all the time? No.
In the future?
No.
Okay.
No. For me, I feel as though, like, especially when it comes down to the people that I surround myself with, I feel like it's always gonna constantly change. Because, like, even though like I have friends now that I've had for 10 plus years, that doesn't always mean that they're gonna grow at the same pace that I'm growing. And and it's okay that I grow out of people. It's okay if they grow out of me. Like, that's a part of life. That's a part of growth. Now, if they get to a point where I'm at and we can get back to a friendship or whatever, that's fine. But like, you outgrow people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
That's growth. That means you're no longer in that place that you were at before, and that you're maturing to be a better person for yourself. That's all. Thank you.
Jude?
She's still thinking.
She like,
no. No, because I agree with Tajah with a lot of what Tajah was saying. But that was me like 10 years ago. You feel me? Like that was me 10 years ago.
That's about
wanting to build a better future for me and my friends. Y'all wanted us to build together, whatever. And then when those times came, I started to realize then, but I wasn't ready to grow, that we were different in a lot of aspects with a lot of things. As they started to grow in different ways, like I'm one of the only friends that don't have children. As they started to build families and things like that, I was living a different life. I was more free, whereas, they would had to find babysitters and things like that. So now in my 30s, I'm more focused on myself, holding myself accountable, taking care. If these tasks and these goals that I set for myself don't get handled, it's my fault. I'm holding myself accountable. Not because I went out and party with my friends. I'm not blaming my friends. It's not their fault. It's not none of that. You feel me? I knew what I had to do, so let me do that instead of taking care of this business. I full-fledged hold myself accountable more so than anything. Now I don't blame anybody for anything. Like back in I used to. I want to just move forward. My growth, I want to continue to grow. I've grown from my 20s to, I don't know why I'm being in my 40s. Probably will really be grown. But I'm really grown now in my 20s. I'm real responsible.
I'm 40. I know.
Yeah, because I done been through some stuff. And I grew up fast, though. So, I feel like I'm probably already like got a 40, 50-year-old mind with some sense. But I was still immature. But now I'm for real, I feel like I am. Like I'm way more mature than I was a long time ago. Like 2 years ago.
And you've grown.
What's your answer to the question?
Oh, we still got time.
Oh, we still got time.
Yeah, we did.
What was the question?
You the one that asked it.
Well, I don't know exactly how you word it, but how you hold yourself accountable for your growth. Girl, you see these the whole time. It's like,
I think for me it will be still releasing my pride. A lot of my accountability things come from prideful situations. Also structure is another thing that I need to be held accountable for. When I say structure, meaning like how I function, how I move with certain things, my response to things. I just need to get a more balance. You get what I mean? To hold myself accountable, because my balance is always shifting. It's like I can do better. You get what I mean? And I think that's the thing, whereas though some people don't understand they can do better. You get what I mean? And they just be like, boom, and you constantly I don't want to keep making the same choices, the same decisions, the same things, and having the same repetitive things happen. I want to change those things. So to do those things, I have to hold myself, check my pride at the door, put more structure in my life, more balance in my life, and utilization of the word no in my life.
I said that. I said we normalize use no all year, and I'm gonna be like the little what is the Bugs Bunny thing, the little gift thing. We be like no. I'm gonna swear to God, that's how I make my lips when you gotta do it like that. No, you gotta tell people that. You're like, how's that? No. Practice, y'all. Come on, say it with me now. 1, 2, 3. No. That's right. Just like that. That's how you gotta say it. Nice and slow. Put your deep voice up. No, I cannot do that for you.
You know my
you gotta tell you
my way, because I'm always like the yes person. I be like, now I just be like,
this is gonna be you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yep. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. I cannot.
Titi look like shit. Titi look like she be like, I ain't gonna be
No,
able
she
to
was
do
like,
that.
She
That's like that. Yeah, I got.
oh,
For
she'll be
me,
like,
y'all know me.
no,
All
this
the
was,
I
2020.
don't think that's for me.
no, she gotta fix her face because this what she'll do. No.
Oh yeah, I need to work on my facial expression because I might give it up. I be
My
like,
face will tell you before my mouth will.
See, y'all gotta be more angelic like me.
Angelica of the Rugrats.
I know she lying. I know she lying. Cause her facial expression is worse than mine.
Did you slap your leg?
Yeah, I already know my facial expression gives it all. I'll be the one they gonna be like, tell the truth. I'm like, I'm in.
My facial expressions are under control.
Cause they be like, Tajah, you like that? I be like, huh? I be like, my mother told me if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
And that's
So I believe, speak the truth, but I don't know. I'm trying to be nicer. I used to be mean. I used to be mean in my past life, but now I want to be nice. Nice is the new mean. Be nice. I just want to be nice. I used to be mean. I used to be really mean, but now I'll be nice. I'm gonna save. But she's still there. Oh, she's still there. She there. She be coming out the blue. I can try to be nice. Girl,
you trying to be more nice. I'm trying not to be nice. I'm too nice.
Well, let's teach each other. Teach me, I'll teach you. I teach you how to, what? Wait. But I'm going to say this. Anybody, who don't really...
Which how I go?
I don't know.
Each one
teach one.
Each one
teach one. It's a sister moment. I'm telling you. I'm trying to learn some etiquette. I'm telling you.
And on that note, I would like to thank everyone for listening, watching, to Ham Radio or Hands. Also, if you don't know, on your local, Roku, Amazon, any smart TV, you can watch us on Hand TV. Don't forget download the app for Ham Radio on hamradio.org. So listen to all the lives. Watch every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, and we will be back next week at 8 o'clock. Are you ready?
What?